retirements this year. Article 3 is a placeholder. We still have 3 unions that have not settled contracts yet, and we're hoping to have those done before the town meeting. Article 4 would be the article for supplements to the budgets. Article 5 would be to appropriate funds to supplement water enterprise. Article 6 would be funds to supplement sewer enterprise if needed for both of those. Article 7 is to raise and appropriate funds for the capital improvement fund. And then Article 8 would be to approve any amendments to the capital improvement fund. Article 9 is a standard article that we do every 2 years in October. It's a requirement that we have a Gatsby, an audit by Gatsby rules, that we have an actuarial come in and look at our OPEB liability. Every 2 years we have to do that. Article 10 is a supplement that the assessors needs $12,000 for their 5-year certification. I will say I did hear at the assessor's office the other day that they're amazed at the values on the homes right now. There's nothing selling in Norton under $500,000 virtually. Everything is coming in. Article 11 is for tax increment financing. This is, when we go over this, the company will probably be here that night. This is a company that's looking to purchase the Cisco building. You know, it's a building that you always look at every time you drive by and you wonder what can go in there. Well, it's built for this. This is a food business that's looking for freezer storage space. So it's they'll be making renovations on the building, and it will be good for us because right now we really don't have a handle on regulating the trucks coming in and out of there. We can put we post signs, but now we'll have a company that will be in there. As part of this TIF agreement, we're also having them sign a memorandum of understanding on truck routes, so it will help the neighbors in that area. But the building, what's that?
Local company or?
Out of Norwood. Home Market Foods manufactures the one I know the best is the frozen meatballs that come in the package with the red and green on the package. They make those, and they have a lot of frozen foods that they manufacture in Norwood. But the other thing with this building right now, it's not fully assessed because there's so much vacant space in it. So they get, under the rules, they get a tax break right now on the building because of that. So this would make the building fully occupied. Article 12 would be to appropriate money to be put into an account for engineering and architectural services to design a senior center and a town hall. And what we would be hopefully putting into this account would be that one-time fee we received from El Nilam, building permit fee. As you know, we received a payment from them for their building permit of $1.4 million. So, Article 13.
Yep. Chairman,
Sure. Paul?
just a question. As these engineering and design, is this for, in each case, a specific site? Do we have a site in mind?
It'll be used for, right now for the town hall. I would envision doing what Foxborough did and build the town hall behind the town hall, and then once we occupy it, tear this portion down. COA, we have some sites we're looking at, but we need to do some engineering work on them to determine whether they're suitable or not.
Well, I hope that gets done before we go into doing the design work, because
Oh, no, we wouldn't do,
you've
yeah,
got to have a site.
right. Right.
to do decent engineering and design.
Right.
And so we need to be sure where we want these things.
Oh, no question.
Or we get nice plans and then decide we have to put it
Yeah.
someplace else and the plans don't work.
When I was at the senior center talking, and I know this comes up all the time, they're like, well, why can't we just take someone else's plans? Well, if we could do that, just say to Foxborough, can you give us the plans for your town hall? All the architects, engineers would be out of business pretty quick. I mean, they have,
They don't have anything like the school fund, you know, the school board, the authorization board, like,
it's too bad they can't do that, but
yeah.
the example I always give was something like that anyways. I can remember at Units Engineering, we had this builder that we did work for, and he was buying this piece of land that sloped down in the back. I said, this is perfect for a walkout. Nope, I built split levels, because he had one plan for a split level, and no matter what the land was like, he was putting a split level on. Article 13, this is an article, Jennifer's been working with the state for a grant to help us purchase the Girl Scout camp. And it's, the purchase price right now is $481,550. It's 46 acres off of North Worcester Street. And we're anticipating a grant of $308,192. Article,
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Paul.
question again. I should know the answer to this, but I don't. Or I did and I don't, but anyway. Passive recreation, what does that include and not include?
it would include anything that is done on that site right now, like camping, hiking, if there's any fishing.
Used to be swimming there, but I don't know
Right.
if there is any.
There still is a pool there. They don't,
Yeah, there's a pool.
they don't use it now, but there is a
They
pool.
used to.
Is that independent Camp Finberg?
It's almost right next door. Yep, it
Independent.
is
It's
independent.
totally independent of.
So, what about the buildings that are on that property?
They would stay, except for the house up front. They're cutting that out to sell the house, but everything else would stay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I was actually back in there yesterday. My daughter had a Girl Scout event at the camp, and I know that there's like an obstacle course and a few other things back in there that have gotten kind of run down in recent years because the Girl Scouts have not been maintaining it as they had before they stopped kind of using it. Is there a plan for the town to put any money into it other than what it would cost to purchase it?
I haven't looked at that. I'll talk to the conservation on that and
Okay.
see. That would be a good idea.
Yes,
Mike, why? Why do we want it?
Why?
I mean, it's a piece of land, 46 acres. Okay, why do we want it?
Well, when we get to talking about the article, and we'll have information to show you how we're piecing things together.
Good question.
Article 14 is put in by the Conservation Commission, and it's funds to hire an engineer to work on the Chartley Pond Dam. This is a requirement of the state. We have to provide them with a Phase 2 inspection report every so often. Article 15 is to make repairs to the dam. As you know, we've been dealing with sinkholes there for a few years now, and the conservation will give you a better explanation of that when we go forward with this. Article 16, we're trying to get a grant. As you know, you probably remember, was it back in 2010 when we had the real bad flooding down here on Walker Street? It floods all the time when we have bad rain events like that. And the state has grant money available, but you can't apply for it unless you have your engineered plans to bring to them. So this would be to hire an engineer to work on that.
Yeah, I would.
Article 17 is article that we're hopefully going to have some estimates by town meeting so we can move forward with this to hire someone to, Keith will be taking the fence down on the town common, and we're looking to hire a company. There's certain companies out there that are able to refurbish that type of fence that we have out there. Some of it would just be sanding and painting, but a lot of it will be making molds to replace the parts that have deteriorated so bad that they're beyond repair.
ESP.
Say, I thought they're not taking that down to get rid of it, they're taking it down to fix it?
Yes.
I thought they were gonna sell it.
How much do you want? You want to buy it? No, the Historical Commission wants the fence to remain as is, that same style fence. And so we have enough there to refurbish, and not cost us a fortune to replace the whole thing. Article 18 and 19 are both from the Water and Sewer Department. They're going to have to come forward, obviously, with figures for you at future meetings. Article 20, they will also explain to you. I can just give you a brief answer on Article 20. As you know, where they're looking to build the water treatment plant on Plain Street, they ran into artifacts that Mass Historic is requiring them to leave an area where they found these artifacts undisturbed. So this is a requirement from Mass Historic to set that area off and designate it as a non-disturbance zone. So they'll come here and explain that to you further. And also they will be into talk on Article 21. This is another article from the Water and Sewer Department to conduct sewer flow metering and reporting as required by the state and also as part of our agreement on the Tri-Town. Article 22, the Water and Sewer Commission will have to explain this to you also. This is, right now they do charge interest for overdue bills, but this is some other language that's added in here, allowing them to do right now to do betterments on properties, which they don't for the most part right now. It's that $12,000 fee or $380 per bedroom. So that's what this bylaw is about. Article 23 is an article from the school department. They're looking to do the windows and doors at the Solomon East, LG North, and the Yell. And they've been approved through the MSBA, and we contacted the MSBA and said that's great, but we haven't even had an article yet. So the MSBA gave us an extension to go to the October town meeting to get approval of a funding source so that MSBA would be willing to move forward then at that point with covering a portion of the cost. Article 24 is just accepting a street. 25 is to appropriate money for Hazardous Waste Collection Day. Article 26 is to transfer a sum of money from the Water Pollution Abatement Trust Program Reserve Appropriation Account for the administrative costs of the program. Article 27, it would be, we're working on that to see if we have any changes to make in the town's personnel bylaws. Article 28 is submitted by the town clerk. The town clerk is working on codification, and this is putting all our rules and regulations zoning online in online format, and this would be what this article is about. You appropriated money for that a while back, and we've been working on town council reviewing it. Article 29, we've been working on this for a while now, and the purpose of this is to try and eliminate some of the people that have a need to have to go to the zoning board of appeals for additions to their homes that aren't really that detrimental. So say the biggest one we talk about all the time is people that through no fault of their own are on a legal non-conforming lot because after their house was built, the town changed the zoning. And this would allow some of these homeowners to do work on their property that meets certain guidelines that the building inspector can approve it without it having to go to the ZBA, because 99% of the time they give them the okay anyways. And the story I always use to explain this is, I can remember telling the building inspector in Holbrook one time, you ought to let people know what the process is, because in the time that it takes, that's the main thing. So we have, say you have an area where Campanelli development, all 7,000 square foot lots, then the town rezones, and those lots in that zone now have to be at least 20,000 square feet. Well, you're on a legal non-conforming lot. So beginning of June, your kids come to you and say, can we get a pool? And you go to NAMCO, you pick out the pool, and then you go to get the permit, and the building inspector's like, no, you can't. You're on a legal non-conforming lot. You have to file with the ZBA. And if you file now, they'll put you on the agenda for July. And if you get approved in July, then you have to wait 21 days after that for an appeal. So by then the summer's over and you've already missed that pool season. And it's just a simple thing of putting an above ground pool in your yard. Those would be the things that, so we'll explain that more when we come back. Article 30 is to temporary moratorium on the sale of recreational marijuana. The reason we need this is the way the law was set up. As of April 1st, people can start applying for permits from the state to sell marijuana. And our town voted in support of the sale of marijuana. So the towns that voted in support, if you want to ban the sale of marijuana, you have to go back to the voters. Well, our election will be after April 1st. So if we don't have a moratorium in place, anyone could come forward April 1st, and no matter what the voters say at the election, if someone puts in an application with the state on April 1st and the state approves it, they can do the sale of legal marijuana, even if the voters at our April election vote against it. So that's why we'd put the moratorium in place until after that election and let the voters decide whether they want to or not.
If the voters already approved it, this is saying you're going to get another chance to approve it or disapprove it?
That would be up to the selectmen to decide if they want to put that question on a ballot in April. This will give them enough time to review all the facts and see what they want to do.
But the only reason for doing this would be to make it possible for them to have a second vote.
That, and also we have to look at our zoning bylaws and see if we want, and we will do this for the May town meeting, just in case people vote to allow the sale. We want to set up rules and regulations on where, right now we have it, but it says medical marijuana, so it wouldn't be the same thing.
Yeah.
So this would have to be done again. So we will be working on the bylaws to have them on the May town meeting warrant, just in case the voters vote to allow the sale of marijuana in town. Article 31 is a placeholder right now. I'm waiting to hear from the state whether we're going to have to appropriate any money to do appraisals on properties on Main Street. That'll be going out to bid next spring for the construction of Main Street. and putting sidewalks, bike lanes, repaving, traffic signals at the off-ramps. We'll go out to bid next spring, and the construction will start in spring of 2019.
Is that from where to where, Mike?
From Pine Street up to 495. And then Article 32 is to see if we put money into our OPEB, and Article 33 would be to put money into stabilization.
It is.
So, if you want, Mr. Chairman, do you want to take up the prior year, just the prior year bills?
We could do these 5 items.
Yeah,
They're pretty
okay.
quick.
Yep.
Sure.
All right, in the last page of your packet, you'll see we have 2 bills that were submitted, $575 for the assessors, professional services for applied geographics, and $3,687 from our insurance company that was, when they reviewed the year end. This bill came after the fiscal year ended, but it's for last year, so $4,262. And I would recommend that the board use free cash to fund those.
Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
I recommend we approve Article 1 in the amount of $4,262 to come from free cash.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
I have a question. Mike,
Yep.
does any of that concern the treasurer's department?
No.
Okay.
Question.
You have questions?
Mike, so I apologize if I missed it, but how much is free cash? And did it get certified?
It's not certified yet.
Okay. Okay.
This month, though.
Preliminary?
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Anything else, Steve?
No, that's it.
All
I
right.
think we have enough to cover that.
Any
If
other,
the state reports are right, then I agree.
any other questions or closing comments? Okay, is there a second for Article 1? We had a second. Tom? Paul seconded, okay. All those in favor, Article 1? Unanimous? Unanimous. Okay. Approved?
The next article would be Article 9, I believe. And this is to $25,000 to do the Gatsby study.
This is a mandatory audit.
Right. One of the things that's changed, if you remember from the time we first started it, it now counts on our balance sheet. We have to show that liability on our balance sheets now.
Okay.
What's the amount of
How much is it?
25,000. Mr. Chairman, I move the amount of 25,000.
Is
That's
it-
free cash, I assume,
Okay.
for Article 9.
Second.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay. All those in favor? Article 2? Unanimous?
The next article would be Article 25. This is for $10,000 for the Board of Health to do the annual hazardous waste day.
Okay.
Answer one general question,
Sure, Steve.
Mr. Chairman. Mike, I know free cash hasn't been certified, but is there something that says we can vote to appropriate from free cash if it's not certified?
Well, it will be certified by the meeting.
Right, but we can vote before,
Yeah.
okay,
Or you could vote, raise and appropriate also.
okay, okay.
Chairman,
Yes, Mike? Oh, I'm sorry, Peter?
So every year we do 10,000.
Right.
Is that just like a going rate, and we just would charge 10,000 for whatever anyone puts in? Or is it
Yeah,
like a-
there's we have Clean Harbors comes out, and
10,000,
generally that will cover the whole. Yep.
no matter how much?
And whatever they don't use, they'll hold for, it would be, yep.
Any other closing questions, comments?
Chairman, I move you recommend Article 25, amount of $10,000 to come from free cash.
All those in favor? Opposed? abstained, unanimous.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
Second was Tom.
The next article is Article 26. And Article 26 is the Water Pollution Abatement Trust. And the Board of Health would recommend is that the town vote to transfer the sum of $10,000 from the Water Pollution Abatement Trust Program Reserve for appropriation to support the administrative costs.
Any questions? Peter?
Yeah, so administrative cost of
Of running the
running,
program.
is that like a normal thing we usually do?
Yes, yep,
I don't remember, but it's something we.
yep, you do in the past, yep, until
This is
the money will sit there and,
This is the water department that runs this?
no, Board of Health.
Board of Health.
Yep, this is for anyone if they have an upgrade to their septic system and they need to, a low-interest loan, they do it through this program.
So it costs them $10,000 a year to deal with that.
May not, that 10,000, once again, it's in an article, so it would stay there.
Okay.
It all depends how much activity they have in the program.
Steve?
What roughly have the costs been for the last, say, 2 years?
I'm not sure, I'd have to get that from them.
Very good. Put that down as a question.
I'm sorry?
Question, Steve?
The past 2 years of cost of this program, administering the cost? Mike's going to provide those numbers.
Yep.
Next meeting. Okay. Any other final comment, question, or vote?
Chairman, I move to recommend Article 26, the amount of $10,000 to come from the Water Pollution Abatement Trust Program Reserve.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained?
Mike,
All unanimous.
sorry.
And the next article is Article 10, I believe. This would be to appropriate $12,000 for the 5-year
What number is this?
certification.
What number?
12?
Article 10.
Article 10.
This is the assessor's office.
Yes.
Again, this is mandatory.
Right, we have to.
Yeah.
Remember, it's 5 years now. It used to be 3 years, so the state
Yeah.
extended it out, so we don't have to do this as often. So it would probably cost us more than,
Chairman,
Yes.
I move we recommend Article 10 in the amount of $12,000 to come from free cash.
Motion? Second. Second? Okay. Those in favor of Article 10, raise your hand. Opposed? Did you have, Aaron? You voted for it?
all right, that's it.
That's it, okay. And what do we have for a schedule, Mike, going forward?
Every Monday,
Every Monday? Okay. And we have to close out by how many days before the town meeting?
7 days.
7 days.
7 or 14, 7. I
So
believe.
that brings, so that's about the 16th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when's Columbus Day?
Yeah, that was going to be my question.
Yeah, when is Columbus, I think
The
it's
9th.
the 9th?
Yeah.
Or
So
the
we'd
8th,
still have to
whatever
meet
that
that
Monday
week probably, or do you think we could?
We'll see where we are when we
Okay.
get up to that, maybe that Wednesday.
Okay.
So if everyone could plan on that Wednesday, just in case.
Okay.
Do we have many presentations, do you know, like boards and,
Water and sewer, and then I'm sure that the school department will want to come here. I know they're looking for a supplement, so, and we'll have a presentation on the TIF.
Yeah.
okay? Yes, Peter?
Before you go, there was a lot of money in this. I didn't add it up. There was. Where's it coming
Well, we,
from? Free cash is gonna be like nice, is that the whole thing?
yeah.
When is it?
Huh? Wait, yes, Steve?
Mike, I know before the town meeting, we had asked, you were going to provide a schedule about pension benefits and include the pension, or the salary
Girl
items that are
Scout camp
included in
and the,
pensions by contract.
Okay,
That's still something on the?
yeah.
If that, everything.
Yeah, that,
Good.
if everything's coming from free cash, we've got 81,000 there that has to go someplace.
Right, that, we'll use that when we do the supplements on budgets.
Well, the state already said.
Okay, any closing comments, questions? Kaylee? Yes, Walter?
Quick question, who's gonna be talking about the Ada Green property? Was somebody coming to,
Talking about what,
or just presenting the article to us and
on which article?
Ada Green?
Conservation. Jen Carlino.
Okay, I think that's, Richard. Kaylee, you- anything else said? Okay.
Move adjourn.
Wait, this is another item.
Wait.
Town report has to be submitted. In other words,
Town report?
Oh, yeah, well,
that's gotta be, I'm just having to read down the bottom here. Town report submission for July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017. You know, that's the blurb that we put into the town report that we sent over to Michelle.
Guess whose job that is?
That's why I said Mike.
I'm out.
Thanks, Tom.
It's been that way for a long time.
When is that due?
It's due.
It's due.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Wow.
Tough room.
Let me know if you need anything.
When we did the town meeting.
That's right. That's right.
it's the same thing.
Pretty much.
But it's done by the chairman.
I feel like no
Sorry,
work.
Mike.
You'll
Due yesterday.
you'll do the town report.
Didn't you know? Come on.
Okay. All right,
Now I
okay.
make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Okay, without, call